Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the latest incentives Tesla's offering to sell vehicles now, Elon focusing back on Tesla and his other companies, 11 states forming their own clean vehicle coalition, and more, so let's get into it.
And a special thanks to TPLink for sponsoring this video.
First up today, if you're in the market for a new Tesla vehicle, here's a list of all the incentives and a quick reminder of everything that's available right now. First, for the Model S, Tesla is offering free supercharging on inventory versions of this vehicle. Demo vehicles are also available with that deal, and those come with discounts. For instance, I see some up to $3,000 off in some cases. Of course, these were used as demo vehicles, but they were treated well by Tesla since they want to show off these cars and then lead them to sales. The same type of discounts are available for the Model X as well. You can see inventory discounts up to $4,500 in some cases, and then free supercharging is available if you pick up one of these cars in inventory. Now, it is worth noting that, of course, these deals are available only in inventory because we now know that the refresh is around the corner. Multiple people have been spotting these new updated versions of these cars that have an LED light bar inside, slightly updated bumper looks, a front bumper camera, new wheels, and a few other cosmetic changes like that. Overall, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a huge upgrade here, but things like that front bumper camera are something that people are going to want to have on their new expensive Model S. And for now, Tesla is trying to drive people to inventory by offering free supercharging. As for Tesla's most popular car, the Model Y, 1.99% APR is fully available for the long-range all-wheel drive trim exclusively. It's worth noting that the rear-wheel drive version is available and basically just offers the same exact package with one less motor, but there's no APR incentive for that particular trim. So if you're going month to month and planning to finance, the cost can actually end up quite similar between these two cars, while this incentive is only available for the top trim. In any case, if you're planning on getting that top trim, it could be something that's worth taking advantage of because Tesla's ending this deal on June 16th. But I do feel that something will come right after this. In my last video, I detailed in a little more depth the history of these deals at Tesla and how I think something better will probably be coming in a few weeks after this expires. So sometime into Q3, Tesla will probably offer another 1.99% APR deal, maybe on both trims, or 0.99 or 0% APR on the Model Y. Lastly, for the Model Y, Tesla is offering an early Model Y owner loyalty discount of $2,000 off, but weirdly, you can't actually stack that with the 1.99% APR deal at the same time. So it's kind of either or there. Now, speaking of APR, the Model 3 has 0% available for up to 60 months. That can be a very good deal that can save people thousands of dollars. And then for the performance trim specifically, blue and white paint, along with white interior, are upgrades that are no extra cost right now. Then for all of Tesla's vehicles, the full self-driving transfer is fully available. So this is for customers who purchased full self-driving in the past and don't want to have to rebuy it on their car. They can simply transfer it off of that previous car into their new one. And one detail here people sometimes miss is you don't have to be trading that car into Tesla. I did a full self-driving transfer from one car to another at one point, and I didn't have to even get rid of the car at all. It just takes that package off of one car and puts it onto the new car, and in some cases, that new car might have hardware for and actually do a lot better with that full self-driving package. Now for the Cybertruck, there are plenty of demo vehicles available with large discounts. I see discounts around $3,000 on all-wheel drive cars, which for now are the base model until they ship that rear-wheel drive. And then there are still plenty of Foundation Series models available. They include free charging and have discounts from $10,000 to $12,000 off. Then Tesla says the lease of $799 a month for the dual-motor all-wheel drive Cybertruck is available with $5,000 down, but only for a limited time. Then the big incentive that isn't really offered by Tesla, but is offered by the federal government of a $7,500 EV tax credit is something you may want to be keeping in mind this year because it seems like it could be on the chopping block by the end of the year. We're not quite there yet, but if it does pass through that this will disappear, it seems like December 31st would be the expiration date. So that is an incentive that may be going away by the end of this year. Tesla is in an interesting spot right now where they're running some incentives, and it's always worth mentioning because a lot of people are in the market for their car and timing is right for them. But I do like to update people on this channel because things do come around the corner, and when inventory stacks up, they'll offer more. At the end of a quarter, they'll offer incentives, and it just always seems like there's some sort of opportunity to save a little bit on your Tesla vehicle. These are all the deals that are going on right now. Next up today, we've recently been spotting the new Model S and X refresh. Overall, it seems like the upgrades to these cars will be fairly minimal. and as such, people have started running surveys. In response to the survey, what do you think of the exterior improvements to the Model S Plaid spotted yesterday? After 581 votes, people found it to be disappointing. 60% said disappointing, 23% said as expected, and 17% said awesome upgrades. That's because mainly we're seeing this getting caught up with the recent cars Tesla is shipping on the cheaper side of things with the Model 3 and Y. They've added the front bumper camera, they've slightly changed how the front and rear look, but overall, to not a keen observer, they're not probably going to be able to notice this, and then the LED bar inside has also been added. As far as we know, this won't have steer-by-wire because that should require a full overhaul of the underlying architecture. But if that is delivered on this, that is something that would make people kind of forgive the fact that there's not too much of a change to the design here. We'll see how that all develops, but that Model X that was spotted in this new blue color was also spotted again by somebody else. At Techie Danny posted this, and this time we get a really good look at what these new Model X wheels will look like. From the side, we obviously see that it's the same Model X design, but it has a new paint color. But in this video, driving by the car, we can see these updated aero wheels that we have not seen on the Model X before. From the front, it largely looks the same, and it's interesting here because it has a license plate that isn't just a manufacturer plate. It actually has a full number, but they're strategically using that to hide the front bumper camera. So some like myself would see this license plate and think, oh, this is just an aftermarket paint that someone put on a normal Model X, but this shows us that this is an unreleased version of this car in a paint color Tesla is actually testing from the factory. Inside, the interior is covered up here, which is an interesting move from Tesla. In the past, in other sightings, we saw them taping over the LED light bar inside the car. And it looks like they're doing the same thing here, but they're also covering up the front dash for whatever reason. Maybe it's just a bare bones prototype situation here where they're out testing it and they just don't want to show what this looks like in maybe a bad looking state, or there could be actually something changing here. Of course, many are hoping for some sort of upgrade here in the interior that would distinguish it from previous years, maybe some sort of upgrades to the seats, but overall the seats aren't what we're seeing covered up here.
Before we go any further, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Tapo by TP-Link. TP-Link makes smart home products and is consistently ranked as the world's top provider of Wi-Fi devices. Their Tapo battery-powered doorbell includes an ultra-wide 2K camera with color night vision that provides a head-to-toe view of anyone at your door as close as 1 meter from the camera. You can choose from several wedge options for flexible placement of your camera, and the rechargeable battery lasts up to 180 days. It also includes two-way audio or a recorded quick response so you can communicate easily with visitors through the Tapo app. In case anyone tries to take the device, it has an anti-theft alarm function as well. Then their indoor-outdoor security camera is designed to address some of the most common pain points associated with security cameras while maintaining an affordable price and premium features. It doesn't need to be wired in, can be easily mounted, and can run for up to 180 days on a single charge. Then its highly efficient solar panel can power the camera all day on just 45 minutes of sun exposure, and I've never had to recharge my camera because of this feature. On top of that, it comes with a ton of great software features, including free AI detection and multiple different night vision modes. They also offer the Tapo 2K floodlight security camera for even more security. Take control of your security today with Tapo's latest home security products, available now at Walmart. Click the link to shop and get peace of mind for your home.
In any case, here are those wheels that we have not seen from Tesla before. These are definitely the same type of wheels that we saw previously, just without the aero inserts. And this is very much in line with the aero inserts that Tesla is now shipping on the Model Y and 3. It's just a new design. So it seems like these will be the new wheels that we're going to see on base Model X vehicles, probably to get the best range. Overall, I don't mind this look, but it doesn't seem to be a huge improvement over previous years or anything to me. Here's that same car with those wheels, but without the aero covers inserted. I think maybe that's a better look for some people, but of course, those inserts always give you the best range, which is always what Tesla is aiming for. Next up today, Tesla has gone through a lot of controversy as of late because of their CEO. No matter what side of the political aisle you stand on, he was very involved in this last presidential election, and a lot of people really liked that, and a lot of people really didn't like that. On top of the political angle, though, there's also the distraction angle. The angle of Tesla investors who feel that their CEO is not even working at the company right now, or at least not doing too much. And then we saw a rough Q1 of sales from Tesla, so was that a result of all of this? Well, this past week, Elon Musk gave an update that will likely make investors happy to hear. After X was experiencing some outages, Elon tweeted, quote, "Back to spending 24/7 at work and sleeping in conference/server/factory rooms. I must be super focused on X/XAI and Tesla, plus Starship launch next week, as we have critical technologies rolling out. As evidenced by the X uptime issues this week, major operational improvements need to be made. The failover redundancy should have worked, but did not. Many Tesla fans refer to this as wartime CEO, or they say Elon is now fully engaged, because it does seem like that's how he gets. He gets fully focused on the task at hand at a company and goes all in, and then maybe steps back a little when things are going well and focuses on another big task at one of his other companies. A lot of people take issue with that, in which he was simply focused all of the time, but this is how he works, and the Tesla board of directors, along with many Tesla investors, want to keep him around for this reason. Right now at Tesla, the big thing for them is that their cars are already out, and yes, we're going to see some hopefully cheaper versions of the Model Y and 3 come this year, maybe even within the next month. But the big launch is the Robotaxi network launching in Austin this year. Elon did an interview recently detailing where they're at with this network overall. And of course, the thing that matters the most is the underlying technology and whether it can be operated safely, unsupervised. But for the rollout, they plan to launch in Austin in June, and it now seems like the end of June is the goal. He said, quote, "So we want to be very careful with the first introduction of unsupervised full self-driving, meaning that there's the cars driving around with no one in it. Well, yes, and sometimes no one in it at all, just going to pick someone up. So the car obviously has to be incredibly safe." At launch, they plan to have 10 robotaxis for the first week and then slowly increase to 10, 30, and 40 and higher. Quote, "All of that is to be done without a safety driver. Tesla will still have teleoperators supervising the vehicles remotely if they get stuck, but other than that, they will be in motion without an occupant in the driver's seat. Within a few months, they want to have 1,000 robotaxis out on the road, and it seems like at launch they're going to be focused on the new Model Y, since that's their latest car with the latest technology and cameras that they have. Then, of course, comes the larger scaling, where they can move out of a geo-fenced area, and I'm curious to see that timeline. Will it just be Austin that gets Tesla robotaxis in a small number this year? Or will we see it go very well so that they can launch in California and then follow up in other states from there? Of course, Elon made a very bold prediction here, and it's related to the fact that they already have millions of vehicles on the road with the right sensors and cameras to be able to enable this technology through a software update. He said, quote, "My prediction is that probably by the end of next year, which would be the end of 2026, we will have probably hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million Teslas doing self-driving in the US, unsupervised full self-driving where you do not need to pay attention." He added, "Tesla has all the ingredients necessary to offer a vast self-driving fleet overnight." Back in July of 2016, so 9 years ago at this point, Elon Musk wrote his Master Plan Part 2 for Tesla. In that, he detailed solar roofs and more capable products, but then said, develop a self-driving capability that is 10 times safer than manual via massive fleet learning. So this is a project Tesla has been hard at work at for a long time, and we've heard a lot of promises over the years. So seeing this rollout will be especially big for Tesla. And then it's one of those things where if they can achieve this, it will be a huge moment for the company and the industry as a whole. Many people still believe Tesla is going to require LiDAR, but they've gone all in on a system that does not use anything except cameras and a self-driving computer, all working with a neural network. This is happening at the same time that companies like Waymo are expanding to more and more territories that are geo-fenced, but they keep expanding that area and the cities that they're able to operate in with their LiDAR-equipped vehicles. So the competition is starting to grow, while Tesla has yet to prove a single unsupervised drive. But once they do that, it seems that they can scale up pretty massively. In either case, time will tell, and I'm excited to see what goes on at Tesla in June, their robotaxis, and also hopefully their cheaper vehicles. Now, of course, we've talked a lot about this full self-driving launch coming in June, and a lot of people have worried about this launch coming alongside Elon being very distracted at the same time. But now it seems that he is getting back to being incredibly focused, not just at his companies, but on this particular task. When someone tweeted saying he will be super focused on X and XAI again, he said yes, and unsupervised FSD in Austin. It's a funny thing, but this simple tweet gives people a lot of hope that Elon is actually going to be focused on this task, and Tesla might actually succeed with it here. But of course, a lot remains to be seen and proven in this space. But when it comes to AI, NVIDIA is really at the top. They know the space better than anyone since they're providing the actual computers for this training for so many of these huge companies. The majority of the computation for Tesla's AI training comes from NVIDIA, and that's the case with so many companies. And this week, NVIDIA's CEO said, quote, "Tesla is far ahead in self-driving cars. But every single car someday will have to have autonomous capability. It's safer, it's more convenient, it's more fun to drive. There's really no better endorsement you could have than NVIDIA's CEO here. I mean, of course, he wants Tesla to keep buying their computers to train their self-driving. So he wants to keep all of his customers happy. But at the same time, they have plenty of customers that are direct competitors to Tesla here. So this overall is an endorsement and a testament to how Tesla is doing in this space. And we'll really see this developing throughout June, hopefully. Next up today, we're in a very interesting situation right now with EVs and the government being involved with EVs. Of course, right now we have a $7,500 federal EV tax credit fully available from the federal government. All of Tesla's vehicles in certain trims do qualify for this tax credit, and it's something a lot of people can take advantage of to really save money on their vehicles. It's also available for plenty of other cars in the United States, and it's worth noting that companies have had to shift certain elements of their production into the US in order to make this possible, especially when it comes to batteries and the minerals that are sourced for those batteries. In any case, now that it looks like this tax credit is going to be wiped out, along with other things involved with clean air, 11 US states have formed the Affordable Clean Cars Coalition with the aim to advance clean vehicle initiatives in response to the recent federal actions that they perceive as hindering environmental progress. They want to reduce cost barriers, increase vehicle options, and expand charging and fueling infrastructure to really make these vehicles shine. Now, states can already do a lot of this without too much issue, but one of the big parts of this is that they want to continue to allow states to have the right to set their own vehicle standards. On Thursday, Congress voted to overturn California's phase-out of gasoline-fueled cars and trucks. And this was a pretty big deal because California had set their own standards for what they want within their state, and the federal government is saying, no, you can't do that, it's on the federal level. But now California is suing in return, and that's a big part of this coalition. All of these states want to work together to share best practices, engage with experts, and develop scalable solutions that can hopefully be implemented across state lines and at the federal level. So far, this includes California, Colorado, Delaware, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Washington. So when you add up all of the 11 states and their populations, this is actually about 30% of the US's entire car market. So it's a big part of that market that really wants to push into the future. But of course, the big part of this that the federal government is arguing for is that, well, that's 30% determining the 100% requirements in essence, because manufacturers are going to have to adjust in order to appease or meet this 30% with its requirements. It's a very interesting and complex situation to follow, but we'll see how this coalition and California suing the federal government goes when it comes to electric vehicles and requirements here. There are many things that people want for the future, but of course, everyone seems to disagree about how to actually get there. Overall, Tesla's view is that getting rid of all subsidies across the board for all forms of transportation is the best idea so that it's a level playing field and then all of these cars can compete. And into the future, many experts, along with Tesla, of course, believe that EVs are what it will be. What are your thoughts on this EV tax credit, though? Should it be in place or should it not? I always seem to get a mix of some people who absolutely think that this needs to be in place and maybe rely on it in order to afford their EV. And then other people who think there is no place for an incentive like this to buy a specific type of vehicle. In any case, leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Over at Apple, one of their biggest technologies that ends up in vehicles is CarPlay. And that's because a lot of automakers are not too great at software. When it comes to software, their systems are still pretty dated looking and just not super functional. So CarPlay enables people to plug in their phones to their car, either directly or wirelessly, and control their phones from a main screen on the vehicle. Now, of course, as we go into the future, we're seeing more cars get released that do not support this. Tesla vehicles don't support it, Rivian vehicles do not support it, and GM's latest vehicles are getting rid of this support as well. But this is coming at the same time that Apple is releasing their new CarPlay Ultra, which takes over all of the screens in a vehicle and really is a next level system for all of a vehicle's controls. This extends across all driver-facing screens, includes the instrument cluster, displays real-time data such as speed, RPM, fuel levels, and tire pressure, and more. So it's essentially like you're looking at Tesla's software and how it shows you everything you need to know on screen. Well, that all will be controlled by Apple in future vehicles and customizable. One of the big benefits here, of course, is a unified system instead of something that maybe feels a little more tacked on. And you have control over everything you want to do, and then you can use voice commands through Apple's Siri. Now, hopefully in the future, that will get upgraded to a better version utilizing AI, but we're still waiting to see that. Apple actually unveiled this technology a few years back and talked about it rolling out earlier than it has, but now it's available exclusively on Aston Martin vehicles, including the DBX, Vantage, DB12, and Vanquish that are ordered in the US and Canada. This requires an iPhone 12 or newer running iOS 18.5 or later, and software updates for this system will be coming in a few weeks for the Aston Martin vehicles. I'm very curious to see where this all goes, because having different companies controlling different parts of a vehicle can be a little tough to navigate, and we've seen that from many automakers over the years. But Apple tends to be pretty good with software integrations like this, so it'll be interesting to see when they control this much of a vehicle. For now, of course, this is a very limited market of people buying Aston Martins, but into the future this will be expanding to many more companies. Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis are preparing to integrate CarPlay Ultra into their vehicles, and then into the future we're looking at Porsche, Audi, Honda, Jaguar Land Rover, and Mercedes-Benz. Those companies have expressed interest but have not actually announced a timeline as to when this will come to be. When speaking to most tech reviewers today, they will say car vehicle software across the board is not good. And then they'll probably say that, well, Tesla and Rivian do have good software. We're starting to see better systems from people like Polestar because of their integration with Google, but now we should be seeing more systems coming that could be pretty good thanks to Apple. Overall, I'm excited to see what CarPlay Ultra can bring to these vehicles, and if it upgrades their software and really takes it to the next level, or makes it feel just kind of like that screen for CarPlay, just got a little bigger. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see a full video of my top tips and tricks for the latest Model Y and 3, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.